Hey, what is up, people? Skywalker Hendrix here, back with another video for you guys today. And today is just a quick little recap video. Just got done watching the finale of the Acolyte, and I wanted to say, first off, I really did enjoy the show overall, for the most part. I want to say I am planning on doing a video rewriting the Acolyte series in a way where I think it could have been a lot more less divisive and just a little bit of a more interesting show overall. Now, I don't want to act like I am any better than the actual writers of the show or anything like that, but I just have a few ideas. Really, spoilers for that video. Getting rid of the Osha and May characters altogether. Personally, I think that was the weakest part of the show, unfortunately, being the main characters, really, that you're supposed to connect with. I did not personally connect with them really at all in the slightest. I probably more connected with Soul or Chimere. I think those should have been the main antagonists and main antagonists and protagonists of this series. I think it would have worked a lot better, but stay tuned for that video because I will be going way more in depth with those thoughts in that video, actually kind of rewriting. It's going to be a Skywalker Hendrix ramble. I mean, you already know. Rewriting the Acolyte. I just think there are some things that could have been done to make this just a little bit more interesting and a little bit more cohesive, I guess you could say. I really think the story works without the May and Osha character. Having Chimere be a little boy on Brendok, basically being created the same way. Soul trying to save him, maybe wiping his memory, and then once he leaves the Order, going to seek revenge. Obviously, we would... Spoilers. Alright, let's just get right into it. This episode did introduce Plagueis into live action. Now, that is just absolutely fantastic. I can't believe they actually went there. Now, I know this show is going to get a lot of gripes for being as divisive as it was and bringing in Plagueis. I mean, there were a lot of things in this episode that I think people are going to have some problems with. We saw the bleeding of a Kyber crystal for the first time in any show, any Star Wars show. Very cool, in my opinion, showing the emotions that go into that. I thought that was cool. Now, something that didn't work for me as much as it might have others, I really think in the previous episode, episode 7, the flashback episode, I think we were supposed to, collectively as an audience, I think whoever made the show, whoever wrote the show, was banking on the audience kind of not liking Soul by the end of episode 7, but I just don't think that landed quite like they thought. And I think we were kind of supposed to be on Osha's side when she force choked him and killed him, which was very interesting in my opinion. Again, didn't really work for me. Soul was the standout of this show, and although I know he did need to die for it to all make sense canon-wise, the way they did it, I just think didn't land the greatest, at least with me personally. Now, this might be different for some other people viewing the show. Maybe it landed for you. I don't know. I just can only speak to my personal feelings when watching the show. Now, some things that really did work for me was Chimere, again, was absolutely amazing in this episode. And of course, seeing Plagueis in live action was just so cool, and really, if they do a season 2, I really hope they learn from the little mistakes that they made with this season, first season. And I would ultimately like a season 2, although I don't know how much more it could escalate without causing more issues in the fandom as far as what's canon and what needs to happen for the prequels to make sense and all that. Like, I do understand that side to an extent. Obviously, Plagueis can't be known by the Jedi. I mean, Chimere really can't even be known by the Jedi. So, if they do a season 2, I would like it to end with Plagueis wiping everyone out, figuring out he just needs a new apprentice, obviously. Which is probably where they would go if they did a season 2. From what I got from it, it would be May and Venestra out looking for Chimere and Osha. That could be very interesting, and I actually think I really would want a season 2 out of the show just to see more of Plagueis. Obviously, I would like it to stay in line with this series, where by the end everything is kind of swept under the rug and, you know, back to business as usual for the Jedi at least. But yeah, seeing Plagueis was very cool. Yeah, I think they left it definitely open for a season 2, and yeah, overall I did like the show. Overall, May and Osha were definitely the weakest points for me personally, but Chimere and Sol were the standouts, and really all the Jedi characters were very good in my opinion. I did see the hype die down though. I'm not gonna lie, I did not see really any hype or much speculation at all for this finale. I mean, that is just sad to me. In no matter what side of the aisle you are on for this show, I think that's just sad that Star Wars has gotten to a place where people aren't really that hyped for the season finale of a new show. And I think that's just a problem with content in general nowadays and the oversaturation, especially on Disney Plus. But yeah, overall, I really did enjoy the show. I think seeing Plagueis was absolutely phenomenal. I do wish we would have gotten to see a little bit more from him personally, and maybe a little bit more explanation of how he got Chimere as his apprentice at this time. Obviously, if season 2, they might be planning on going further into that, but at the rate that this show was hated online, I don't know if it is in Disney's best interest to greenlight a season 2. As much as I personally would like to see a season 2, I understand the damage done to the fan base. And although this is, videos for another time, but I've been saying it on the channel since this show has come out, I think nostalgia is the biggest plague to the Star Wars franchise. And that's just unfortunate. As Star Wars has transcended being an intellectual property into almost being this, I hate to throw the word religion around, but to some people this is like their childhood. This is their childhood. Let's just put it that way. And me too. Star Wars is my childhood. Those memories, I will never experience Star Wars like I did as a child. For me, I've accepted that and can enjoy future projects and future Star Wars things without expecting it to be like me watching Attack of the Clones when I was 4 years old and thinking that was just the greatest thing gifted to mankind. I'll never experience that again, but it's because I'm not a child. I'm not experiencing it for the first time ever. So it's automatically going to not hit those same things. And even as a child, It's only the fact that I'm older now and looking back fondly on that childhood where it's like, it's just different, and it's nostalgia, and it plays so much into everything we do in our lives, and it's really a discussion that goes deeper than Star Wars or anything like that. So yeah, it's unfortunate that I feel that it would be in Disney's best interest to not greenlight a season 2. As much as I want to see a season 2, I don't know if that's what the fan base needs right now, and I'm not saying give in to the haters, give in to the whatever, but there are some serious criticisms of this show that are 100% valid. Something I have an issue with was just the fact that I think they thought that us seeing Soul drop May on purpose, basically, I think they thought that was going to hit a bit different for the audience, and it just didn't. I think everyone just got too attached to Soul, and when you get attached to a character like that, you are more likely to forgive them, and especially when people are more attached to Soul than they are Osha. When Osha kills Soul, it just it didn't work for me. I can tell already talking with some of my buddies, didn't work for them. We like Soul more than we like Osha. Therefore, Osha killing Soul is not good for us. It makes us feel unfulfilled. It makes us feel like the bad guy won, which was kind of the point of this show. But I think they went about it in the wrong way of making Soul the bad guy. Like, we don't feel good when Soul dies, and I think we're supposed to feel good when Soul dies. At least I think that's what they were going for, and I just don't think that landed really in the slightest. If it landed with some of you guys, let me know down in the comments. I'm really curious on why. But like I said, I think this show would have worked a lot better with May and Osha's character completely removed. Have Chimere be the little boy on Brendok. You know, the Jedi still go there. The Jedi still find the Coven of Witches. The Coven of Witches still make Chimere out of the Force. They can do all of that still, but just have it be him instead of May and Osha getting revenge on these Jedi, and then maybe Plagueis is getting on him about revealing himself and making sure that he's not revealing himself, and then maybe Plagueis comes in and wipes everyone out. I think for me too, I think a big part of it was seeing Plagueis, like, at the beginning of the episode. They showed him right away. So then in my mind, when they all show up on Brendok, and it's like, you see the Jedi getting off their ship, I said it out loud. I say, oh no, all these Jedi are dead. Which didn't happen, obviously. I really thought Plagueis was going to show up at some point. Like, they showed the shot of the ship coming in, and it was the Jedi. For a split second, I was like, oh, here we go. Like, here we go. But obviously it was the Jedi. And then I thought we were going to see another ship come in, and it'd be Plagueis, and Plagueis was going to legit kill them all. And I hate to say that, like, I shouldn't have got my hopes up. And yes, I probably shouldn't have. But why just show Plagueis if you're not gonna, like, use him for the rest of the episode? I think they could have shown him instead at the end when May and Osha are standing. Literally basically the last shot of the series with May or Osha and Chimere standing there holding the lightsaber. That's when they should have shown Plagueis. after everything happened already, because then I don't think I would have even thought Plagueis was showing up to kill everyone. Like, obviously Leslie said that 2 Sith would show up in this series, so it was like a given that we were going to see Plagueis at some point, or at least Chimere's master at some point. So I think saving Plagueis for that last shot would have just been chef's kiss, and maybe would have tempered my expectations a little bit. But yeah, I do like Plagueis' inclusion overall. I think it works for the most part. I just don't think the May and Osha character work. But other than that, like, other than May and Osha in this series, I have really, really enjoyed this series, and overall just have really liked it. And I absolutely love all of the legends and all the lore beats and everything that they threw into this show. I mean, I still will stand by the point that this show was a love letter to Star Wars and the prequels and just Star Wars in general. I really do. Even though some things just didn't hit, I think, the way they were supposed to for me, overall, I do really, really love this show, and think what it did to bring different things into canon is absolutely amazing. I mean, bleeding the crystal there was just super cool. And then, of course, elephant in the room at the end, we do see Master Yoda. Just the back of his head, but we do see Yoda sitting there, and that was cool. I had a feeling. I mean, dude, it's the Jedi 100 years before the prequels. Everyone knows Yoda is the Grand Master at this point already. It was inevitable, just like a story about the Sith 100 years before the prequels. Plagueis, or Plagueis' master, was inevitable. So I think those were like on your bingo card. Like, if there was a bingo card, those were the top 2 on the bingo card. I mean, it was pretty clear to me, at least. And I mean, Leslie gave it away like 6 or 7 weeks ago when she said 2 Sith would show up. So yeah, I think overall this show, one of the downfalls is it was a bit predictable, but I don't think that makes it necessarily bad by any means. I just think it makes it predictable. So overall, I really did like the show. Plagueis, Yoda, I mean, the cortosis, the bleeding of the crystal at the end there. Let's see, what other lore? I'm pretty sure it's confirmed with Plagueis being on that planet that it is Baldemnik. That's pretty much confirmed with Plagueis showing up, obviously. So yeah, overall, I really, really did enjoy this show. Stay tuned for my little Acolyte rewrite. I don't know, maybe I won't do the rewrite. I feel like I covered most of what I would do in this video here anyway. And we're pushing 20 minutes, so yeah, just overall, really liked the show. I think it was overhated to the max. And although I will agree there are some valid criticisms, some of the hatred for this show was just ridiculous. People, I mean, Star Wars Theory legit having meltdowns on his channel is like, bro, go do something else if you're getting that mad about Star Wars. And that goes for anyone that's that upset over a show that's coming out. I mean, go figure something out, dude, because I don't know what to tell you here. I mean, I get that it's something you love, but if it's really disappointing you that much, just walk away. I mean, I hate The Last Jedi. Like, I fundamentally disagree with the character assassination of Luke Skywalker in that movie. hey, I'm not even bothered, bro. Who cares? I mean, dude, I focus on Star Wars I love. I hate The Last Jedi, but I love the Clone Wars, Rebels. I love '03 Clone Wars to death. I love the prequels. I love the OT. I love Mando. I love Ahsoka. Dude, just come on. Let's stop. Let's just stop with that. We're not kids anymore. We're not little kids watching Star Wars anymore. It's just, sometimes you gotta grow up. Sometimes you're not gonna like the new show. It's just, I don't know what to tell you. Like, it's ridiculous. But anyway, guys, I should probably stop talking. I need to go to bed. Stay tuned for some new videos, some new reviews this week. I do have Palpatine, the Black Series figure, of course. That figure first in the Revenge of the Sith line. That video should be dropping like tomorrow or the next day. Any day now. I mean, any day now. It's coming. Stay tuned. I also do have the Mafex Ahsoka review coming. Again, any day. Palpatine will be first. Ahsoka, and then later this week I will do a video or a review of the Hot Toys Anakin. I know I've been saying it for a while. Again, if you're familiar with the channel, I'm in the process of moving, so bear with me here while I get all my figures. And I mean, I have so many figures, guys, it's ridiculous. And I'm still getting them all over to my new place. So be patient with me, please. I much appreciate it, and I much appreciate everyone that watches my videos. Y'all are some G's. Shout out to my channel members. Y'all are the top G's. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. As always, let me know your comment, or let me know what your thoughts are on the Acolyte as a whole down in the comments. I mean, I'm very interested to see what people's thoughts are of the show as a whole. Now that it's done, we can kind of take a step back, figure out if we really did like the show, if it maybe was just okay, which is where I'm leaning. Like, I did like it, but I can see where people are like, eh. There were like some super high highs for me, and then there were like, the rest was just kind of like, yeah, it's decent. And I think people just, it's Star Wars, people expect that high all the time. Kind of like Mando Season 2. That's kind of what we got with Mando Season 2. It was just banger after banger. And really, Mando Season 1, I think both those seasons spoiled us as fans. Even though I don't think like we should say we're spoiled for getting like great Star Wars, but yeah, at the end of the day, I think there was some great Star Wars in this show, and the rest was just kind of good at best. Good at best, I will say. Yeah, overall, I did like the show. Let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comments, of course. I really am interested to see what people are saying now that the show's over. But anyway, guys, stay tuned for all those reviews dropping starting tomorrow or the next day. I mean, I don't know. I've been so busy lately. It's just been hard. But stay tuned. The Palpatine review is the next review, and that should be dropping tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. Shout out to all you guys. As always, may the Force be with you. Ayy.